Hey, 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 welcome to the Totally Naked Show, where we serve straight talk, no chaser. It is your girl, Dominique, and we are here in the chat room for our very first episode entitled, It's the Healing for Me. May 18th, 2021, God allowed me to have a moment that I thought would never happen. I got an opportunity to embrace, hug, look into the eyes of my biological father, a man that I just knew did not want me, that I just knew I would never see a day in my life. God allowed that thing to come full circle, y'all. But it wasn't easy. And it sure didn't come full circle without my participation. You see, when I was a little girl, I always felt incomplete. I always felt like a piece of me was missing. I was born to a 19-year-old teenage mother who, unfortunately, being a single mother, because my biological father did not choose to be a part of my life. It's always been me and my mom. And then I remember when I turned 5 years old, my mom, I don't know if my mom met my dad. And I'm saying dad, let me give a little bit of context. I'm saying dad because my mom got married when I was, I believe, 5 years old. And her husband, Alfie Minor, loved me enough to adopt me as his own child. Okay, so I just wanted to put a pin there so y'all can understand why I'm saying dad and biological father. Okay, so when my mom got married, I remember feeling like, oh, okay, great. I have a dad. You know, I felt like I had somebody there that would, you know, have my back. I just remember other kids, like dads picking them up from little kindergarten. I remember that. I remember being in the playground, waiting for my mom to pick me up because they had like a little after school area where you kind of could play outside. And I remember other little girls and boys getting picked up by their dads and stuff. So when having one was amazing. You know, we forged a great relationship. You know, he was there for me. You know, his family became my family. And when he adopted me and I assumed his last name, I mean, hey, that I understood love. I understood that, you know, someone could love you, but he could not fill the hole that I had. I still long to know who my biological father was. I still long to want to have a relationship with him. Well, needless to say, I felt like half of a person, totally inadequate. I realized in 2020 that I couldn't continue to ignore it anymore. That it was truly time to make a change. It was truly time to make a shift. Because things was turning up at work. I mean, all kind of changes was taking place at work. And a lot of decisions were being made that left me feeling like, am I still good enough for this job? On top of that, Deshaun, who is my son, he got hurt playing football, and a lot was on my shoulders in terms of his care afterwards. And there were many moments where I felt like less than of a mother. With those two major life events on top of living in the middle of a pandemic, living amidst a whole bunch of racial tension, your girl was totally freaking out. I was freaking out. The walls was closing in on me. My chest was getting tight. I was literally freaking out. And I heard God say, I know a lot of people say that, but truly I did. I heard God say, you need to go talk to the counselor. Call the counseling center. So I called the counseling center and I scheduled an appointment. This was my first step into being uncomfortable for my growth. Going to the counselor was my first step. The second step was to actually accept and face how much of my identity was shaped around the abandonment of my biological father. Those sessions helped me to face some extremely uncomfortable emotional traumas that I have buried, that I tried to forget about, that I tried to ignore. Luckily, I stuck it out with this thing. Because in the process of my counseling sessions, I was able to actually find forgiveness in myself for the decisions that I have made in my life. And I also was able to forgive him. I started to understand that, you know what, Dominique, although that is not the way that you would have handled the situation, you don't know this man. You don't know the circumstances that this man was facing. And you had a good life. And even though I walked around and held those feelings on the inside, it doesn't negate the blessings that God had already done in my life and what he had given to me. I really needed to talk through those moments so I could really see that everything that I needed, God already supplied it for me. Everything that I thought that I wasn't good enough, I found out that I was. When I thought that I didn't belong, I found out that not only did I belong, but I bossed up and ran the show. I was able to finally come to terms with the fact that I could not live with the thought of not finding out for sure. I could not live with not finding out for sure whether or not I could have a relationship with this man, whether or not he was even alive. So I did the very next thing that was so uncomfortable to my growth. Talk to my mama. I talked to my mama. I had to ask her pivotal questions to be able to locate him. Well, let me tell y'all, I don't know why I was uncomfortable, because she was like, okay, not a problem. Made a few phone calls and got me the information that I needed to have. I reached out to him, and he didn't respond back. I reached out to him a second time, and he did respond back. I was just overwhelmed because I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel hurt. I felt like a child being reunited with maybe a military parent who's been gone for so long or something like that. Like, the reconnection was so real. It was as if the offense had never, ever occurred. That level of healing in your emotions only comes when you allow yourself to be uncomfortable, to face the ghost of your past, leaving it there, enjoying your present, and planning for your future. Well, how long are you willing to live with the hurts of your past? The shift comes in many forms. For me, it was rehabilitation. Maybe you will need to forgive yourself for any mistakes that you have made. so you can see yourself differently. Maybe it's just time for you to slow down and become more accountable for your own actions. Maybe it's time to change your circle. Maybe it's time to change what you're intaking. Maybe it's the time for you to take the big leap and pursue your dreams, no matter if you feel unqualified and not having enough resources to do it. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7 says that, "For God did not give us the spirit of timidity or cowardice or fear, but of power and of love and of sound judgment and personal discipline." In other words, you were built for this. Well, the time has come where this show is coming to a close. But don't worry, the conversation doesn't have to end. Go to our social media sites, either our Instagram or our Facebook, and follow us there. Leave a comment for us. Tell me, how did you think about the episode? Is there any areas in your life that you've identified? Share it with me. I can't wait to hear what you guys thought. Thank you again for coming in the chat room with us or with me. And until next time, be good to yourself, be good to others, and love God. Bye.